I'm not sure why it's underneath the table like this. Frame. Reality is a little bit different inside a trailer. Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Hotcakes, our 1963 SCS Shasta. The SCS is self-contained with a shower, a very tiny shower, which you may have seen in the other videos. If you haven't seen any of the other Hotcakes videos, we pick her up, we bring her home. On the way home, we happen to find the Pismo Trailer Rally and we stop in and tour a bunch of cool old trailers. We were doing some repairs on here, like a damaged wheel well, a damaged hand crank in the front for the tongue jack, and also soft spot in the floor, new flooring. And now we're moving on to kind of just the home stretch of things, and that is that Hotcakes needs a table. So you probably saw in the previous videos that there was a vintage kitchen table that belongs in a home. You've seen them before. The metal on them is about this wide, and it's got yellow cracked ice on the top for the Formica. Really cute, really cool, but just too big and too heavy for this. And when we made the trip down from Northern California bringing Hotcakes home, it ripped out of the plywood because it wasn't really into a stud. Again, really cute, but not original to the trailer. And that's kind of what I like to do, is bring these back to as an original condition as I can. So in my travels, I have salvaged a lot of bits and pieces of things over the years. And I keep these things just in case I need to use them on future projects. And that is the case now, because I have a table that is 24 inches wide, and it's exactly what I need to fit in between this space right here, and then drops down. This turns into a bed, and that's kind of what we're going for now. So this table is 24 inches. It's perfect, with one exception, and that is that there has been a bunch of holes drilled in it. I have no idea. There's at least a dozen holes drilled into this thing. And it's pressboard. It's starting to flake, it's coming apart. So we're basically going to abandon this tabletop as it is, cut a new piece of plywood, but utilize the trim around it, cut it to the exact same size, and then use this right here. This is a vintage piece of Formica that I salvaged out of another trailer, and it happens to be wider than 24 inches and it's longer than what this tabletop is too. So I'm going to be able to set this on here, get it in place, and then glue it and then route it out. It'll fit perfect with the metal trim back on, and then we have a table, and it actually mimics what was put, not original, but what was put in the kitchen, which you can see right here. So you can see that it's just sort of off-white, and this is really close to it. So we'll have that consistency, you know, in the trailer, which is also nice. It's good to not have just a hodgepodge of all kinds of different things. So that's it. That's what we're going to do today to start with. So I'm going to start by taking the metal off of this, and then we'll get the plywood cut. And I guess we'll properly suit up here as well. There we go. And there we have it. Get you down there. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so you can see that cutting plywood with a skill saw can be a little bit rough. This is expected, and for that reason, I purposefully put the pattern on the bottom side of the plywood, because as the blade runs around like this, it comes through and it starts pulling up all of these layers of the plywood. But on the underside, the same is also true with the jigsaw. The teeth of the jigsaw are kind of pointed upwards so that the cut is when it comes up. One thing you can also do to sort of hedge your bets a little bit is take a utility knife and score the top side, or the side you want to keep good, with this knife deep enough to cut that first layer so that if it does fray for some reason, it keeps a nice clean edge. So now that the piece is cut, we're going to get the aluminum trim frame and we're going to see if it fits, and then we'll make any sort of adjustments accordingly. Now that the top has been cut, we are adhering it to the plywood and then the trim will go on it next. So right now we're going to go in and attach the bracket that's going to hold the table onto the wall itself. That is going to go right across here, and I do know that there's a stud right across there that we will attach to. So let's get that going. And scavenging, once again, wins the day here, because I do happen to have a bracket that was not here before to attach this table to. So we're going to go ahead and attach this piece to the wall. This piece will go on the table once the trim goes on, and then we will, drum roll please, see if it works. And yes, I am a drummer. So when we're attaching the table, we have a couple of things to consider. One is that you put the bracket, as we discussed, on the wall on the stud, and then also the leg that's going to be on the outside, you have to get that height in order too, so that it's nice and level. So for that, we are going to borrow the leg off of the table from Coco, the 1959 Corvette that we have here. We're gonna go do that right now. So let's go visit Coco, and it'll also give you a little bit of an insight to that job that's coming up. If you didn't check out the rescue of Coco, go ahead and do that. The link is in the description. It's a way bigger project than what we've got going on here with Hotcakes. So let's go get that leg, and then we can give you a brief tour if you haven't seen that video. Just a bit of a tight squeeze in here. As you can see, Coco has a lot more damage to her and needs a lot more love, but she is just a really, really cute trailer, a smaller trailer. She's a bit of a compact, so smaller than what you would even see in a normal canned ham. Is cabinetry intact. That's going to be a problem because a tree fell on it, and I'm still not opening that up yet. It's covered from the outside. I haven't been able to bring myself to see what it actually looks like, so we will see that together when we get it into Coco. Nice small trailer, cute as a button, a lot of original stuff in here, including these really cool dinette seats with some real funky little upholstery on them. So here is her table, which is a cracked ice, beautiful table, original to this trailer. I'm gonna take the leg off of it, and I'm probably gonna put in a wooden one on this one, since it's a bit of an older trailer from the 50s. I wanna give it a bit of a throwback, even if it didn't have that in the first place. I wanna make a nice wooden leg for it. So we're gonna use this metal one. It's a little more period to the 60s that we have for Hotcakes, and I think everything's gonna work out just peachy. And in a surprising peekaboo moment, I guess, when I'm looking at the bottom side of this table, it's got a Formica on here that's really, really cool. There's this really cool kind of atomic starburst pattern, and underneath it there's a pink grid. I'm not sure if it's really the colors showing up on here, but it's really, really cool. I'm not sure why it's underneath the table like this. It almost makes me want to just deconstruct it and pull that laminate out so I can use it for something else, but I'm not going to mess with it. I think it's just going to be one of those just little fun peekaboo moments that will show up every now and again unexpectedly. But yeah, the cool things you find in trailers. One thing I am noticing about this table leg is that it is quite rusty. And it's not a heavy rust though, and it's not really pitted, so I'm going to go ahead and take some steel wool to it and see if we can't brighten this up before we attach it to the table. Oh yeah, this is turning out really nice. Look at this right here. And it shouldn't take too long because I got a time lapse. I'm showing you the finished product here, which is a pretty nicely chromed piece to use as the leg. Some of the rust did pit and remove some of the chrome in spots, but all in all, this is really nice. I'm excited. So what I'm going to do is measure the length of the leg, where the stud is that I'm going to put the bracket on, and kind of make sure that they are same as each other and we have a nice level tabletop here. So the leg is actually a little longer than what this area is, so I'm actually going to have to cut this down by about 1 inch. There's always something with these trailers, but it definitely keeps it interesting. And hopefully you're staying interested as well. Let me know in the comments if I need to speed things up, slow things down, go to the beach more. I don't know. Keep it nice. Just doing my best here. We're all friends, right? Right, brackets in, solid as a rock, and I thought I would get fancy and do it right and use my level to make sure this is nice and straight, but then I started thinking, wait a second, the trailer's probably not level. And sure enough, I checked it and the trailer's not level, so I ended up going back to using a tape measure to measure down from the top to the bracket, and now for sure it's even. Reality is a little bit different inside a trailer. Brackets in, let's go see how the table's doing. Clamps are off, nice adhesion, looking really good. Now it's time to get that trim on there. Table trim is on, bracket is on. Let's go see if it fits. Right. Lift it so it's lifted up, slides into the bracket, and fits down in there. And now, if it locks into place right, it won't move side to side. Perfect. Now, let's check out the leg. Right about here. And I'm calling that a W. So we'll be able to get in here. So you'll be able to slide in, fit a few of your friends around the table, and have a nice dinner on the road. Now, just screw this leg on, and we'll call this a video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and check out all the other content. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you on the next video. Take care.